Hey, Gateway, this is Pastor Jason, and man, we're so excited to once again be with you here at Gateway Midweek and being invited into your homes or your smartphones, wherever you're watching this from. And I'm excited because tonight we've got some of our pastors, Pastor Lance, Pastor Jen, and we're just going to unpack kind of what the Easter week is going to look like here at Gateway, and then some of the things we have going on in the weeks and months following Easter week. And so we're excited to share that. You know, each and every week when we come together, we talk about invite, connect, develop, and serve. And so we're really going to land on invite as we go through. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just unpack a little bit of things that are coming up. And so we're going to just kind of launch into, and you're going to get a lot of information. We're going to launch into what the Easter week is going to look like here at Gateway. So
that's right. Hey, Gateway Church, we are excited for Easter week coming up. It's the week that we celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so there's actually a lot happening this year. We're starting to regather as a church. We have also online options for those who would like to engage that way as well. And so starting off, this week, so it'll be tomorrow night. It'll be Christ in the Passover. And so if you've never heard of a Seder dinner or what the timing of Christ's death looked like for the Jews of that time, this is a great event for you to come to and help understand what this meant not only for us Gentiles, but what it also meant for the Jews of Jesus dying on the cross for our sins. And so we have a guest speaker coming 6:45 tomorrow night. It'll be live, but you can also come here and experience that in person. We won't actually be doing a Seder dinner this year because of just the regulations and things like that to keep everybody safe, but we will walk you through it, and all ages are welcome. In fact, if you have elementary kids or high school kids that would like to join, they would enjoy it as well. It's very informative. Pastor Steve Hopper will be leading that with our guest speaker from Jews for Jesus. And then also Good Friday, we're going to have a service at 7 p.m. here in the main auditorium. And we'd love for you to join us online and in person as well there as we have communion and really just contemplate what the death of Jesus meant on the cross for us over 2,000 years ago. And it's just a very solemn time just for us to come. I know for me, I enjoy Good Friday services because, you celebrate on Easter, you're really excited, there's this resurrection, you got your best clothes on, but without Friday, there was no Friday, there was no Easter, without Good Friday. And so we celebrate just that moment that Jesus took all our sin on the cross. And then Saturday is, it's it. It's whenever every year, it's kind of like the Super Bowl of the church, right? It's like, this is our big moment that we just celebrate a risen Savior, that we worship a God that isn't dead, that isn't gone, but we worship a God that was risen from the grave, is now at the right hand of the Father. He has defeated sin, and he has given us that victory through his life. And so Easter this year, we have 3 services, 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Those will both be the choir and orchestra music, and then 11 a.m. with the worship band. And what we're doing is we're going to provide an inside option and also an outside simulcast option for everybody that joins. So the outside option will be through TV screens and technology, and you'll be seeing what's happening in the service. But I just feel like, we opened up, we've had 2 services now where we've been inside and outside, and we continue to see people re-engage. Just 2 weeks ago, we had 300 people engage again at church for the first time in maybe a year. Yeah. And so maybe you're one of those people. You're watching, you're like, man, I've gotten into some habits where I haven't been at church, or I've stopped watching online. And Easter's a great time for you to just kind of recommit, come back together with the body of Christ, and we would love to have you for those things. And so it's going to be good. This year, I believe, 2020 was a tough year, but this is, in my heart, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of excitement, there's just a lot of joy when I get to see those faces. I know Jim feels that with kid boxes. Every time we see you, we just are reminded of what we're doing and who we are and the mission we have here in Visalia. And so a few other things I want to mention is that our youth ministry is doing an incredible job. Sam and Nathaniel leading the team. And on April 11th, they're going to split up. So they've been all together as one group, and the group has been growing, and they meet at 3 p.m. every Sunday here at the church inside. And so, but each week it's growing, and so what we're going to have to do is we're going to split junior high and high school. So on April 11th, we're going to split that up, and so those groups, the junior high will meet in the small auditorium, the high school will meet here in the main auditorium. And so I know for some of the junior high students, they were getting a little overwhelmed, and things like that. And so we would love if your junior hires like, man, maybe they tried youth or they want to come back, or maybe your youth haven't been involved, this is a good time to do that. And the men's, we just had our God, Guns, and Grills event. It was amazing. Paul Leffler did a great job. And we're going to be having another men's breakfast upcoming this summer. And so, again, lots of times to reconnect, regather as the church. It's going to be amazing. Easter's going to be awesome. We're also praying for a great harvest, online and in person. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but man, invite somebody. Be praying who God's calling you to invite. So what's going on in the kids ministry and women's ministry, Jen?
All right. We are doing some great things in kids ministry. Several of you guys picked up our kid box. We had over 300 kid boxes go out this week. And so those videos will start on Sunday with Palm Sunday. So if you have one of those, make sure that you tune in. And that's available anytime during the week. So you don't necessarily have to do it on Sunday morning, but anytime during the week. And our kid box lessons are different than what's happening in kids ministry in person. So even if you picked up a kid box, if you're ready to come back, we would love to have your kids join us on Sunday morning. And we have full kids programming. The only thing we ask is that you pre-register. So you can go on the Gateway website, click on kids and in-person registration, and it takes just a couple minutes. Pre-register, let us know that your kids are coming. And so we'll have full programming every Sunday for birth through 6th grade, as well as on Easter Sunday, we will have kids programming for all 3 services. So you can choose what you'd like to come to. And all of our kids programming is inside. So they are back in their regular classrooms with their regular volunteers. A lot of our volunteers came back. So we're excited about that. And then a couple things that are coming up. Our big thing that will be coming up this summer is our VBS program. We are hoping and praying that things stay open so that we can have kids in person and online. So we'll have both options for kids for VBS. And so the date for that is June 21st through the 25th, which is the last full week of June, from 9 a.m. to noon. So it's that Monday through Friday, the last week of June. So we're excited. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out, and we'll be doing registrations for those soon.
I just want to say thank you, kids ministry. It's been awesome to have my kids back.
Yeah, we're super excited. It's so fun to see them walk in, and we're so excited. And then the other things that are coming up are a few things for women's ministry. If you haven't had a chance to connect back in person with women's, here's a couple things that are coming up. First, on March 31st, we are doing our Refresh event. And so that's a chance that we meet here in the main auditorium just to refresh and do worship and learn about some of the ministry things that are coming up. Also, on April 7th, our women's Bible study, who's been meeting in homes and been meeting online, they're going to gather back together on April 7th and start doing women's Bible study. So check out more information for that. And then we also have a big women's event that's going to happen on the night of Friday, April 16th from 5 to 8, and we have rented out the Woodlands. And so that's for women. We're going to have dinner, we're going to have vendors, we're going to have quesadilla gorilla and worship and a speaker. It's going to be awesome. So tickets go on sale on Sunday, so you can go online, purchase your ticket, and come and join us for that.
What's the Woodlands?
The Woodlands is a venue. It used to be where the old...
PPAV, right?
The what?
PPAV Hall.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they've turned it into this great venue. Like during the winter, they had ice skating, and they've redone all the decorations and stuff. It's an amazing, amazing place.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. We film this live, and so, we've often talked about, what do I do when I mess up? And so it's so funny while you guys were talking, I could feel myself getting ready to have a coughing fit. And so I'm holding it back. But we're going to keep pushing forward and saying, Lance, talked about, hey, it's great having my kids back on campus. So many of the staff and leaders over this last year have pivoted and made things work. But I'll tell you what, kids ministry has taken it to a whole different level, and of just trying to keep kids connected. And I'll tell you what, so many of the staff, so many of the leaders and people that serve in that area, man, they miss not seeing your kids. And so for weeks after weeks, they were just, trying to do whatever they could do to keep, kids engaged, and, doing the online, kids service, every Sunday at, what time is it at?
9:45.
9:45. And so they've been doing that. And I'll tell you what, even putting kids back on campus, and they have gone above and beyond to make sure kids are safe, make sure that they have the right, guidelines in there. But at the heart of it, man, they just want to get kids connected to Christ and to love on them and do that. And the kids ministry has done an amazing job of that. So kudos to you and your team, and so that's been good. So, like we talked about, hey, people are serving. People are, we're coming back together. We're reopening things. People are re-engaging. And I've talked to a lot of people that said, I feel like God's calling me to do something more. I just don't know what it is. Well, I've got something for you with our guest services. These are the individuals that are here on campus. They're ushers, they're greeters, they're security, they're medical volunteers. All those things that happen on a Sunday morning as people come onto our campus. We want them to feel welcome. We want them to be able to navigate through our campus, get to where they need to be. And so we have so many people that help and be a part of that. So if you would like to do that, right? If you would like to be a part of that ministry, let us know. We want to get you connected. Again, as things reopen, as things progress more. We're doing a lot of different events. We need volunteers. We need people to help and serve. And it's what really God has created us to be, right? Is to love God and to love others. And so we really like for you to consider doing that. Consider helping out. And even if it's just to try it out. And so we really want to encourage you to serve here at Gateway. And so we want to give you an option for that. Also coming up, starting April 8th, is our venture group, those who are 55 and older. And so they meet every Thursday at 10 a.m. And that's another group that here in the pandemic, it had to shift. And so they would be here on Thursdays and have coffee and worship and engage. And there would be a teaching time, and they would break off into different classes. And man, it was just a very important ministry here in the community. And so when everything hit, they had to go online. And so they're excited. April 8th, they're going to be back here on campus in the large auditorium, going to be doing some things, looking at finishing strong, Paul's second letter to Timothy. And so they're going to be doing that study starting April 8th. That will also be available online. Most of the things that we have going on are also going to have a live streaming option. And so we're continuing to, as we move forward, to make sure that we're staying engaged with everybody wherever you're at. And so that's definitely one of the things that we've learned over this last year. There's so many people that we can connect with outside of being in person. And that's just amazing that the gospel goes out and so many people are able to hear that. That's a big part of Gateway Midweek too. So Venture's coming up. And also we have, with our Connect small groups, we've been kind of navigating through that, and some groups have gone to Zoom, some groups have taken a break, some groups, have become like a hybrid, and they kind of get together, but they kind of don't. And so there's been all this kind of transition. So as we're opening back up, we're excited to see groups come back together, people re-engage. And so on April 19th, that's a Monday night. On April 20th, that's a Tuesday night. And then on Saturday, April 24th, we're going to have a meeting with our leaders, but also anybody that's thinking, I think I want to start leading a group, or I think, I want to find out more about what it looks like to host and lead a Connect small group. And so we're going to do that. And so, man, I'm so excited to get leaders and get individuals back together and just kind of, come back to the why do we do this? What is our desired outcome when we connect throughout the week? How do we live that out? And how do we get as many people as possible into a small group? We've had a lot of conversations on how important it is to connect and fellowship and to really live out, the amazing teaching that we get each and every week on Sunday morning. How do we live that out? How do we put it into practice? What is that so what? And so, small groups are a great way to connect, support each other as you're living out your faith. So, man, we would love you to get plugged into that. And so, man, pray about that and join us in April as we re-engage there. And a big thing at Gateway is our next steps. Kind of, where are you at? What's your next step here at Gateway Church? And so we have several classes that we do, and a new one that we've just kind of added, and we just had one maybe about a month ago. That's our Develop class. And I have a little thing up here. I'm going to read what that class is about. But then I'm thinking right now, Pastor Lance teaches that class, so why should I say anything when he can share exactly the heart of that class? And before he even shares it, I sit in on the one we did this last month, and I'm telling you, I think this is going to be a huge addition to what we already do here at Gateway to really help individuals develop their gifts and find out what that is. So why don't you share just a little bit about what that Develop class is?
Yeah, I mean, here at Gateway, we believe that we're not just consumers, we're also contributors, that God has a plan and a purpose for our life. And so Develop is designed to help you find that plan and purpose here at the church and how that connects with the corporate body of Christ, but also in your individual life. So we'll look at some personalities, we'll look at gifts and passions, spiritual gifts, and really try to help you find that fit and that calling in your life for the current season you're in. Callings change, seasons change. So maybe you've felt like, man, I really fit in one area and I feel like my heart's shifting. Maybe that's for you. Or maybe you've been at Gateway and you've been like a first-time guest for 10 years, and you haven't really fully engaged and you haven't said, hey, I want to be a part of the mission here. This class is for you as well. And so, yeah, Develop, April 18th. We're going to meet at 8:30 a.m. here off the church campus, and it takes about an hour and a half, and it's the beginning of trying to find, hey, God, where do you want to use my gifts and talents for this current season?
Yeah. So, when I was in that class, there was a handful of people that were there. Some were new to Gateway. Some have been going to Gateway for a while, and it was just so cool to see them as Pastor Lance taught some things, and as they took some personality tests and spiritual gifts tests, and they looked at that. Man, seeing like light bulbs go on, going like, oh man, God has wired me a certain way, and maybe I want to consider getting involved in these areas of ministry based on kind of how I am as an individual. And so it was just really cool to see that happen. And so we really want to encourage you to really consider doing that again, like Pastor Lance said, April 18th. We also have our Discover Gateway class. That's May 16th, so this is a little bit further away. But that's just kind of Gateway DNA, learning the mission, the vision of Gateway, the values, how we operate, and what it looks like to be a member of Gateway. How do you engage in that? How do you go, you know what, this is the family that God's called me to. I want to be a part of Gateway Church family, and we need you to be a part. There's things that God has developed within you that we need you here at Gateway to be doing those things. And so being a member of Gateway, being invested into this local body is so huge. And you make us better. So that's a big part of Discover Gateway is just learning what Gateway is about, how we operate, and how you fit into that and become part of that process and become a part of that way that we can continue to move forward the gospel and make an impact here in the community and beyond. And then on May 23rd, probably one of the most important things that we do here at Gateway, that's our baptism class. And so, so if you've made that decision to accept Christ, maybe you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, I want to encourage you to take that step of faith, start that relationship with Christ, and then your next step after that is to be baptized, is to follow Christ's example and to be baptized. And so we have a class that kind of walks through what that looks like. Again, it's May 23rd. And so, that's one of my favorite things to be a part of is baptism, is watching people publicly say, I've decided to follow Christ. I've decided to start that relationship. And it just does something to my spirit when I see individuals that have been through a lot of stuff, and they have found hope and they have found forgiveness. And they're telling the world, hey, I'm going all in with Christ. And it's such an amazing thing. So a lot of those things that are happening. So we have given you a lot of information on things that are happening at Gateway, how you can get plugged in, how you can get connected. And so, like I said, the purpose of Gateway is invite, connect, develop, and serve. And inviting is such a huge thing. And a lot of you may say, what's the connection, right? Like, why is inviting so important? So, Lance, why don't you share a little bit about just why inviting is such a huge part of what we do here at Gateway?
Yeah, Jesus, his last words on this earth, what we call the Great Commission, he said, go and make disciples of all nations, And so that word go, literally in the Greek, means as you're going. So as you're going, go and make disciples. What is making disciples? Well, it's exactly what Jesus did, right? Yeah. He said, come and follow me. So we're not asking people to follow us, but we're going and we're asking people, would you be interested in following Jesus or hearing more about who Jesus is? And so that's why we have these events. God, Guns, and Grills. We have our women's event. We have Kid Box. We have Sunday services. Each week people are being invited in. And so what I would challenge you is who's in your life, who's in your circle that doesn't know Christ? Maybe you have invited them before, but man, one thing's been shown for sure, is that when we go through times of crisis, we either have our hope anchored in something or we don't have hope at all. And so I have seen, even in the past year and a half, people that they don't have hope, they don't have future. And there may be people in your circle that they don't have any hope. And they say, man, I want to invite you to hear about the hope that I have in Jesus, or just I want to invite you to hang out with me, listen to some music, and we'll have a great lunch after church, whatever that may be. Yeah. Or maybe they're not ready to come back to church. I want to invite you to come sit in my living room and watch church on TV, and you'll never really understand the impact of that until you do it, And so I encourage you, church, invite. Also, all this information can be found on our website. So you may be like, dude, I can't remember that. What was that date? You're hitting the rewind button, but go to gatewayvisalia.com. Literally all the information, you can register. And obviously the church offices, we're always here for you to answer any questions. But we want to invite. That's our first step of our purpose here, is to invite others in. We're not a holy huddle. We're not just a lighthouse. We're here because we want to let people know that there is a Jesus out there that died for them, that has risen, that no other God has done. He is the one true God, and that he loves them and died for them personally. So can't wait to see that happen. Can't wait for this week as we see many people come to know Christ, and it's going to be fun.
All right. One of the things that we really encourage with our kids and our families is to invite their friends, invite families that they know to come and be a part of things. And it's been neat since we've been open. Every week we've had new families that have come and dropped their kids off and been a part of our worship services. So God's really been blessing that. But I wanted to share just a quick story about our kid boxes. And so every probably about 6 to 8 weeks, we put out a kid box that has videos that go with it. Like I said, this week we had our Easter kid box, and we had about 300. But through our kid box ministry, we had a family that lives in Hanford, actually, that connected with us. They've never been on campus with us, but they started attending through Kid Box. So their kids do it. They've done it every week since we did VBS last summer. So they've been a part of that consistently. And this past week, the mom reached out to me and said, hey, I need to register some of our neighbor kids. And I said, oh, that's perfect. And so we got them all registered. And I said, hey, what are you guys doing? And she said, well, this has been a great ministry for our family, and my kids love it. And so we have decided that we pick a time during the week, and we invite all the kids in our neighborhood to come and be a part and do Kid Box together. And so here's this family that has become kind of a part of Gateway, and now they are inviting their neighbors in a neighborhood in Hanford to come and be a part and do Kid Box ministry. So one by one, people are inviting their friends and inviting kids to come and join and to learn about Jesus. So we're just excited. That's one of the cool ways that God has used the ministry as we've pivoted during the time that we've been closed.
That's awesome.
What an amazing story of and I think an encouraging story of just simple things, right? Simple things. Hey, why don't you just come and spend some time with some glue and some glitter and looking at the TV, and you're going to watch YouTube anyways. You might as well.
Thanks, Jen, for the glitter at my house.
And so, back when my kids were young, it was sand. That was the big thing. So, so now I've got glitter dancing in my head. But anyways, and so it's just so cool to hear these stories of just how God is moving in ways that we don't even ever. 2 years ago, this probably could have happened and we wouldn't even have known about it, And so now being able to connect the way we do and just those simple things, just those, hey, do you want to be a part of this? Do you want to join me as I do this? It's not necessarily having all the answers and everything figured out, but it's just, going, hey, let's shoulder to shoulder together. Let's do this experience together. Let's connect in that way. And it's literally changing lives. Like the impact of that thing that Jen just shared is going to impact possibly generations for Christ. Of just simply, hey, swing by, get a kids box, and connect and do these things. Learn more about Christ as a family, but then inviting people into that process is just awesome. And so again, invite. We've got Easter weekend coming up starting tomorrow. And so there's so many ways for you to connect. Don't do it alone. Grab your neighbors, grab the people that you love, bring them with you as we celebrate the resurrection of Christ, as we celebrate connecting and living out our faith and all these different events. At the heart of all these events is we want to get people connected to one another and connected to Christ. And that's why we do those things. And so, man, we're so excited that you have joined us. And so again, like Pastor Lance said, if you have any questions at all, contact the church. Go onto the website, gatewayvisalia.com. Even put it in the comments. We will get in touch with you. We want to get you connected. We want to stay connected because that is what we do. And so thanks for Pastor Lance, Pastor Jen, just for all their hard work. It's cool to work with individuals that have such a passion for the gospel, but also to work with individuals that you really say, hey, these are good friends of mine, And so I just really appreciate their heart and all that they do here. They sacrifice a lot, for the kingdom, and so it's just really cool to be a part of that team. And so,
how many midweeks is this?
How many midweeks is this? Oh my goodness! It's why do I sound like it's like, oh my goodness, midweek? I can't believe it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
I've really loved it. It's I don't know. It's been over 2. I know that.
Over 2.
It's been more than 2.
Yeah, that last one with art, I thought went really well. The core beliefs and prioritizing, and that was really good. I like that one.
Yeah, we have so many amazing leaders and people that just volunteer their time. I mean, art does not get paid. I mean, so many of our volunteers that make huge impact on our campus and our community, they're doing this out of the love they have for Christ and others.
Yeah.
And so, and man, they just bring every individual, like you said, as you develop your gifts, as you discover that, they bring so many things to the table that we look at and we go, yes, we need that. Like what you do, we need here at Gateway because it makes a difference. And we can just share, I'm sure, countless stories of how much we love the people that we get to serve with, that volunteer their time, and are just amazing individuals. And and if you stick around long enough, they may put you on staff. So just FYI there.
For sure. Yeah.
And so, hey, thanks for joining us tonight at Gateway Midweek. Again, we're going to stay connected with you. We want to see you this weekend here at Gateway. And so you really connect with us during this. We celebrate, again, the resurrection of Christ. He is risen, and we have hope in that. We have life. And so, hey, have a blessed rest of the week, and we will connect with you again. God bless everybody.